Hello.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, just a few minutes behind here. We ran out of cream.
Yes.
Well, the bigger thing is we ran out of cream. So I had to go to the store.
I like coffee with cream.
Well, me too, but we
Okay.
ran out of cream.
Yes,
So,
I know.
And
so
then
that's
I
why
ran
he's
into
like,
Steve Warren
Oh,
at
cool.
Winn-Dixie. He said he may try to catch us today if he's able.
Awesome.
He was there stocking bread.
Hi, Vivian. Good
And
morning.
stuff. We got to try his bread. He's working for a company called Martin's Bread. So it looks
Is it like seed?
No, this
sprouted?
is like good old white bread.
Oh, okay.
And so but he's got like potato rolls.
Oh.
He's got like this hamburger bun that looks like the whole top is covered in sesame seeds
Oh, yum.
and stuff. So
Well,
it
we'll
looked
have to give
like
that a
for fun bread, for hot dog buns, hamburger buns. Anyway, I don't know. I haven't had Martin's Bread yet, but our friend Steve, who watches with us,
yes.
he is now working for Martin's Bread. I assume, I don't know, they may just be in Alabama. I don't know. But they're at Winn-Dixie in Fultondale, Alabama.
We'll have to figure it
Martin's Bread. They were on sale today too. So
out. Well, did you get some?
No, I didn't know we needed. I didn't know what we needed. To be honest, I was praying and just trying to get cream.
You
I
guys,
was just.
We've had a lot going on
I
lately.
just was
so
up this morning praying. Up this morning just praying in the Spirit and all of that kind of stuff.
yeah.
But I did have this thought when I ran into Steve. You know, ladies out there, if I can
Yes.
inspire you ladies, you know, if you've got a guy, if your husband, fiance, significant other, you know, if that dude gets up and goes to work, right? If he gets up and is there and and regularly, I'm not talking about once in a while. I'm talking about he every day gets up, goes and does whatever he does, you know, celebrate that boy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We need to celebrate that more and more. We were actually yesterday
we tried to have lunch out.
tried to go. There's a neat little hamburger chain here in Alabama called Jack's, and it's a local little chain.
And we were all helping get my mother-in-law's place ready for sale, and so we just needed to just swing by somewhere and grab something.
Let's go grab some Jack. And it's pretty inexpensive. Hey, there's Steve, the man.
Hello, Steve.
The man,
We've been
the
talking
myth,
about you. Your ears
the legend.
burning.
Yeah, but you know, we were going to Jack's, or trying to go to Jack's yesterday, and literally both locations, not the one down the road, I don't know about it here in Fultondale, but we were in Gardendale. And so the one on Mount Olive Road and the one on Fieldstown Road both had signs on the door that said, due to a lack of employees, a lack of staff, we can no longer run the dining room, even though we have no mandates for that, no more restrictions.
Drive-through only.
And
of course, it was wrapped around.
And it was wrapped around the building about 4 times.
So we were like, oops, no.
And stuff. So I was like going, man. So I was thinking about that. I've been doing that, you know. So hey, and Steve, this is because I bumped into you this morning. I said, you know, ladies, if you're out there and your husband, your significant, your son,
yes.
Yourself, anybody. But
yes.
I was just thinking about, but if you've got somebody in your life that gets up every day,
yeah,
and they go to work,
yes,
and they're there, and they do it anyway, and you just celebrate that person.
Absolutely.
And when we're out today,
yes,
and doing our stuff in the world, let's celebrate people who came to work, who showed up.
More and more when we go into restaurants and all that, we have been thanking the staff for showing up to work, because so many people are just opting to not.
You know, for varying reasons, I'm sure, all that kind of stuff. I know there's a hot debate on that. That's not the point of this show. But yeah, just celebrate folks that are out there working today.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
We need to,
especially when they get up at 3 or 4.
Yeah. You know, and that's, you know, and again, so the little title, you know, and we're talking about how do we change the world, right? How do families, does the concept of family change the world? And the reason why is family should be the place where praise and celebration and
are abundant,
and compliments
are abundant,
right? It should be the rippling out place where, you know, I just tell you the neat little stuff that I saw that blessed me. Even so, I was there at Winn-Dixie, ran into Steve, which was cool. And then I was standing in line waiting for my cream, and there was a Hispanic family in front of me, and there was a big brother and a little brother. And what I mean was there was like, the big brother was probably 2 feet taller than the little, he was big, he was tall, he was a tall young man, and his little brother was there, and they were there with their mama buying avocados, so they were trying to get breakfast going as well, I'm sure. But just the big brother just came up behind his little brother, grabbed him, and kissed him on the back of the head.
Oh.
And you could just tell there was a real camaraderie and
Yes.
jovialness and
Yes.
and that good brotherly affection and care.
Yes.
And even the fact that the Bible says,
Yeah.
let me back up because now I'm getting all excited.
Oh.
Because the language of the Bible is family language.
Yes.
Right. Again, we know God as Father.
Mm-hmm.
We know Jesus as both husband and brother.
Mm-hmm.
We know each other obviously as brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
This language, Paul said you had not many fathers
Mm-hmm.
among you, so we can also know other people as father or mother in the faith. So the whole language, especially of the New Testament, the whole language is familial language, that we know each other in a family setting. And even to the point, like I was saying, that he was this young man, affectionately in public, loving on his little brother.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the Bible says, let us show forth brotherly affection. Paul said, have brotherly
I love
affection
that.
for one another.
Yes.
So here's the thing, here's one of those concepts, right? So even though I can understand, and even though inside the Bible, obviously, famously Esau and Jacob, there is sibling rivalry,
Yeah.
right? There are sibling disputes that can happen. Those things, are not normal, nor are they healthy.
Right.
Like in the whole Esau and Jacob scenario, that was not a healthy situation. That was not a good situation. That was nothing that family celebrated.
Right.
Oh, you know how brothers are. They just, but the New Testament says we have brotherly affection for one another.
Mm-hmm.
And even just to say that we're gonna come back to this and circle around this a little bit, because, again, the home family should be the place where all of this stuff begins.
Yes.
Where affection and love begin, again, where praise and complimenting, and there's another word for praise. What is that? When you talk about you encourage people, but it's deeper than encouragement. There's a word.
Oh, Brad.
Man, there's a word that's stuck in my head. And sorry, I lost something this morning, and so when I lose things, it messes with my head.
You lost a specific
I lost
set of Bluetooth headphones that he can talk to. Anyway,
so but
it
now
does
this word, it does
derail
derail me. This word is out there, but there's a word. But in home is where all of this stuff begins, right? It truly should be and not even begin. It's like the fountain of these things.
Absolutely.
If you look at it as like a source of water that trickles up or bubbles up, and then goes out from that place into the world.
Source of encouragement.
Should be the source
of life, the source of affection, the source of all that is home and safe, and the source of good communication.
Yeah,
the source of let's work this out. The source of just feeling comforted and knowing that everything's okay.
Yeah.
Home should be the source of that.
Yeah, so home is the source. Family, and for so many people, I understand, we have, like I said, we're talking about the disintegration of family, and it's not just even like divorce as the disintegration, or the breaking of bonds.
Yeah.
That's the disintegration. It's also the disintegration of these things of the soul.
Right.
Here's another thought I had just a minute ago to see where it would fit in. Even Paul it was either in one of the Thessalonians or one of the Timothy books, right? One of those 4 letters of Paul's. Paul talks about markers of the end times, right? And he has a little list. He says, you'll know you're in the end times, and he begins to list some things. And I don't remember all that's on the list, but I remember one of them is people will no longer have natural affection. Now, when I was growing up in some of the circles of Christianity that I grew up in, we were told that was homosexuality. That was a marker. And later, as I reread the list as a young man going to Bible college, I realized, no, wait a minute, that can't be homosexuality, because it was already listed. It was already in the list prior. in some of the sexual deviancy that will be the markers of the end times. So it was already there. So this unnatural affection wouldn't be that. And it wasn't an original thought to me, but I think one of the teachers at our Bible college or somewhere, because I was asking God about, well, what was that unnatural affection that would mark the end times? And they talked about it would be this whole parents not loving their children.
Yeah.
This whole, even like, I know you probably haven't heard this because you don't stay in the news. You know, they just recently found a 1-month baby that was abandoned in a dumpster and was abandoned to die. And they just found the little body, you know, a week or two ago here in our city.
That's unnatural affection.
That's unnatural affection. Someone could leave a baby behind and knowing that their child was going to die.
Yeah.
That's unnatural affection, right?
Yeah.
Again, but even beyond that, this whole animosity that is in the culture about family and siblings, and that now people just expect, again, it's a thought expectation. Well, I just expect that my kids are going to fight.
Yeah.
I just expect that because there's just sibling rivalry. It's just
normal.
They're going to not like each other. They're going to not.
This is where they are supposed to learn to work through things that might aggravate you about somebody else's personality or whatever. And then based on the success that you have at home is how they're gonna do out there.
Yeah.
Because we all have to deal with people that aren't like us, that don't think like us, that, you know, get on our nerves sometimes, but we still choose each other.
Yeah. So anyway, so family, home is the source of these things that run out of us, right? And that's the way God intended it. Remember, because family is the smallest building block in God's creative design for cultures and nations.
Okay, I want to paint a picture for you. So, if you have a family where when mom or dad who are out to work, when they come home, everybody comes and, yay, mama, you're home. I mean, I get hammered when I get to the door. I better be bracing myself and not have much in my arms, you know. When daddy comes home, everybody rejoices. Everybody's happy. Everybody's looking forward to their coming. When Sophia, our oldest, is working and she comes home, same thing.
Yes.
You're home. Yay, we've missed you all day. You've been at work all day. When the girls go to co-op all day and I'm here with the little people. Yay, you guys came home. I'm so excited. Tell us about your day. What did you do? Tell us a funny. Like, that's the kind of atmosphere that you're received into home. Well, you know, Sophia she's watched several different families, so this will be safe, okay? But there's one particular family that she watched, and she was just like, Mom, nobody knows who else is home. They don't
even know when somebody gets home. They don't even know
when someone gets home. They don't even know if mom got home or not, if dad is home or not, if the sibling is home or if the other sibling is home. They don't really know. And when they all get home, they just kind of all go to their room, and they're never like really together.
Yeah.
And when they come together because they're hungry, actually everybody just kind of cycles through the kitchen and helps themselves to things and then goes right back to their room.
Yeah.
And so it was more this whole, it's a house where a bunch of people live, but it wasn't necessarily this home, you know. And then when there were certain sibling things that, you just get on my nerves, I'm just going to go back to my room. And it's that whole, okay, I don't have to work through it because I can just leave, right? I don't have to actually help because I can just go. There was none of this whole, the older ones teaching the younger ones or modeling for them or even investing into them. There was none of that. There was just this separation of, you know, my little sibling, and you know how the older one is. And there's this constant, it's not just that they were fighting. That's not the point, because they actually didn't fight a whole lot. There wasn't a lot of strife because they weren't around each other, right? But it was more the heart attitude towards one another with the whole, you know, like, and I'm not saying our home is perfect by any means. I'm just trying to compare what we are used to something that it wasn't there, right? And so, like, our kids, I'm constantly telling the older ones, no, listen, you slow down for the little one. You actually take the time to explain to the little one.
Yeah.
You actually take time to pour into them.
Yeah.
Hey, they just did something that for them is pretty huge. I know for you, it's old news, but for them it's pretty huge. You need to go over there and really celebrate that and give them high fives. Hey, and then when the younger ones are like, hey, so-and-so, 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 Sophia, because there's a lot of conversation going on. We're a big group, guys, so it happens, right? Sophia, and I'll finally say, everybody be quiet. Younger sibling is trying to get older sibling attention because younger sibling has something to celebrate. Everybody instantly, what is it? What? Right? Yeah. That's what you're wanting.
Yes.
When we say the source of, I just wanted to paint a picture versus another place that is just kind of not stale but sterile.
Well, it's
just kind of this sterile environment where everybody sleeps and eats and then heads out.
Well, if you look at our homes today, and even and there's so much in here, that I would, because then we do still, well, what does that look like? And we're trying to paint these pictures, but again, we're trying to paint more ways of thought to help inspire our thinking. Mm-hmm. More and more in our current homes, the actual buildings, the structures, they're like miniature apartment complexes.
Yeah.
Everybody's got
just a common living area and perhaps a shareable bathroom.
Well, maybe. Well, more and more as I go into homes, and what everybody's looking for is a home where every bedroom has a bathroom. Pretty much now, every bedroom now has a TV in it. Mm. When I grew up, and I'm sure maybe there's others here, I remember it was a luxury if you got a TV in your bedroom. I remember the big hot thing in my day as a teenager, is if you could talk your parents into your own phone jack, where you could have a phone in your own room, and you didn't have to run and get the phone that had the 50-foot little pigtail cable, and then walk it into some closet.
A private conversation somewhere.
Well, now with our devices, everybody's got not only their own phone, they got their own connection to the universe.
Absolutely.
In their room.
Absolutely.
Right.
Or wherever they are.
And they're saying now there are more televisions per household than people in the households.
Yeah.
Now every room, not just bedrooms, but every room has a TV in it.
Yeah.
So more and more our homes are turning into little hotels.
Yeah.
Or little apartment complexes where, and if you've ever noticed, I have, being in multiple homes, like our home here was interesting because it was built back in probably the 60s and 50s. And so the living areas are sizable.
Yep.
But the bedrooms are smaller.
Very small.
And people go, well, wow, these bedrooms are so small. I said, yeah, because this was built in a house during the day when people just had a thought, well, all we're going to do in here is sleep.
Yeah.
We ain't going to live in this bedroom. Yeah. We just need a place to go sleep.
Yes.
So we'll make the bedroom small and the living room bigger because we need more room in the living room for everybody
to hang out
and to be. Well, now that's flipped.
Yeah.
In a lot of places, the rooms are bigger and the living rooms are smaller because now everybody has a mentality of, oh, well, everyone's going to spend more time.
This is just the foyer, where you come in and drop your stuff and head to your room.
And go on to your room. And so
it's like a boarding house.
Well, these are ways of thought.
Yeah.
But again, these mindsets are what we need to go against. Mm-hmm. These mindsets of family is just a collection of individuals who are loosely tied together through a last name, right? But more that home and family is the spring.
Yes.
It's the bubbling up place of praise and encouragement and love and affection. And again, I just want to say this because that's something, Selena, you've done, and I want to thank you for doing that for me, because for years now, ever since we've had kids, so now for coming on 17 years, ever since Sophia was born, every day, no matter what kind of work I was doing, whether it was pastoral work, and I was coming home from the office, or whether now it's construction work and I come home sometimes super nasty, depending on what we were working on, but I know, and now it's so funny, we've got this Life 360 because we got drivers, so we're tracking drivers and making sure everybody's okay. And I come home last night a little bit later than you, and Selah pops out the door and she goes, "Daddy, I was tracking you so I could know when you were home and I could get to you first." And that was her whole thing. She was tracking me so she could beat everybody to the hug.
Yes.
And so she was watching somebody's phone, I assume yours.
Yeah.
And oh, he's here. And then she runs out and
quietly, so nobody else would know.
But I tell you what, when you create an atmosphere like that where people are excited for you to come home, people are. I tell you what, the last place I want to be is somewhere else other than here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not looking to drag my feet getting home. I'm not looking for, hey, is there any errand I can run to prolong my time away?
That happens so many times in other, families.
I love coming home. There's been a couple of times when it's been busy, and I have to admit, as they've gotten bigger, where I'll come home and nobody saw me come in, or nobody, and I walk in and there's no rush of people to meet you, and I'm like going, hey. What happened? I don't like this.
This is not normal.
And so, and I say that as we all can create that.
Yes.
We all should create that.
Yes.
And just imagine a community, a city, a state, a nation where you had families who longed to be with each other, who celebrated each other in each little home. And maybe today, as we're all driving around, we'll land the plane on this thought. As you're driving around and you're looking at your neighborhood, imagine if each house was a little fountain, a little pozo of water, a little well of water, bubbling up praise and encouragement and an affection and love, and
can't wait to see you.
Yeah, and can't wait to imagine if every little home was a little, and that was just bubbling out. And going into our communities, going into our world, then this truly would be a different place.
Yes, it would.
This truly would be somewhere to want to be.
But what we can do
is start with us.
We can rebuild the wall in front of us. Yes. Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, we love you guys. Have a great Tuesday. We'll be back here tomorrow morning. As always, thank y'all for the comments.
Yes, thank you, Vivian.
And chiming in. Steve, was so good to bump into you at Winn-Dixie this morning.
I didn't get to, but
I did. I got blessed.
Yeah,
and I got cream. And I got to talk to Steve.
There you go.
There you go. The day started off well.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Awesome. Well, we love you guys.
You guys.
We'll see you in the morning.
See ya.